Hi there. I want to talk to you about a word in your comment, and I want to touch on the holy place. We're going to look at the sanctuary pattern, and when you first see it mentioned in the scripture is when the sanctuary pattern was given to Moses, and they built the sanctuary in the wilderness. And it's interesting to know that this sanctuary pattern was a replica of the heavenly sanctuary. And we can also see in Hebrews right now that Jesus is our heavenly high priest. You see that sanctuary language. You see in Hebrews 8, it says, Jesus is the minister in the sanctuary of the true tabernacle, which the Lord pitched, not man. But now, what's interesting about the sanctuary is that it carries an end-time judgment hour message, like the days of Noah. You see that there is the scripture that says after 2,300 days, then the sanctuary shall be cleansed. So it's worth noting that in Daniel 8:12, that a description of the Antichrist power would take away the Tamid, and they would cast truth to the ground, and they practiced and they prospered. Now that word daily, which translates to Tamid, that is sanctuary language. Every article in the sanctuary had a daily function, whereas when you get to the last article, which is the Holy of Holies, and that had a yearly, which is the Day of Atonement. Now Daniel 8:14 specifies, because Daniel asked the Lord, how long? And the Lord said that after 2,300 days, which translates to 2,300 years, then the sanctuary shall be cleansed. So you must understand, when you're dealing with prophetic time, you need to add the year-day principle. So that 2,300 days now becomes 2,300 years. Also, that 70-week prophecy in Daniel was cut off from this whole 2,300 years, which means that both the 70-week and the 2,300 years have the same starting point, which was in 457 BC, with the decree to not only rebuild, but to restore Jerusalem. So Daniel's 70 week is 70 times 7, which is 490 years. Started in 457 BC and goes all the way 490 years to 34 AD. The last 7 years of this 70 weeks was signified by 3 events. In 27 AD, you have Jesus the Christ baptized, anointed. You have 31 AD when Jesus the Christ, the Prince, was crucified. You have 34 AD, which ends the 70-week prophecy at the stoning of Stephen, the first Christian martyr, which sealed the fate of the Jews. This is at the point that the gospel went to the whole world. And we are spiritual Israel.